Scanning for audio.
Welcome once again to a Tin Dog podcast, talking about Rogue. That's episode 6 of 8 of this series of Disney Who. Formerly known as Doctor Who and made by the BBC, Disney Who now exists. Oh, you know what, I can't be bothered. Right, okay. Cards on the table. Here's the most important thing you'll hear in this entire review. Not everyone has seen Bridgerton. Mentioning it 3 times in the episode just makes people annoyed. Now you think, oh, I'll just go and watch Bridgerton. And then you look at the certification and you think, I can't really watch that as a family show, can I? No, we can't. And my experience of it is basically from watching episodes of Gogglebox. But it's, it's your standard costume drama, just made with some knobs on and a bit more ethnicity. Added, nice bit of multicultural casting, and that's great. What I'm saying is, not everyone's seen Bridgerton, so banging on about it in the episode is just a bit rubbish. Actually, there's a few other things that need to be gone into. Right, okay, on the internet, people are absolutely loving this story. They are. They are torn. Now, obviously, there's a couple of people with the same issues as me. Birds people, and that's fine. We'll talk about that when we come to it, but let's talk about what we've got going on. You're going to have, and you are going to have, some people go on and saying, hey, it's just the Captain Jack storyline slightly updated. And you know what? Yeah, it is. And yeah, can I just say Happy Pride Month? It's a great bit of timing. That's brilliant. I'm just not fond of the Doctor in any form of romance. I am your, GNT era of Doctor Who fan. I'm an old school person. Do I need my immortal Time Lord character flirting weirdly? I find it weird with the whole William Hartnell marriage coffee thing in the Aztecs. And it's the same. And of course, then you've got your coffee relation thing, and then you've got your Come With Me, Gene Wilder thing. Okay, see, there's so much to discuss. There really is. So I need to stick with my notes. Let's stick with the notes. Obviously, the internet's going to have a bit of a meltdown about Richard E. Grant. We'll deal with that as well. So, here we go. No, mentioned the fact that I've not seen Bridgerton, and the bit that I did see on Gogglebox was just a bit... See, it looked great. It looked right up my street, and then it just became a tiny bit rude. I'm going to sound like such a prude, but it's just not full-on family viewing. And that's kind of what you've got to do when you've got a family. So referencing something from a completely different channel, that's brave of Disney to mention something from another channel. Oh, right, okay, so... These people, these alien races, are big fans of your Bridgertons, of your costume dramas, of your Emmas, of your, the sort of thing. And those other things will have made it out into space, but saying that they are fans of Bridgerton because they've been beamed out into space because people watch them across the universe means that A, the TV signals are capable of time travel, which means, of course, these aliens will have a complete set of Doctor Who episodes, but more importantly, that these programs that only exist as streaming services, which are not beamed across the stars because they are streaming services, because obviously some aliens turned up and went, please stop shouting your signals across the universe, telling everyone where you are. And that's why we have streaming services. Thank you, alien intervention. And that's it. I'm sorry, I'm rambling slightly more than usual. I think it could be the painkillers I'm on for my leg. So, is Rogue Jack Light? Let's look at the evidence. Weird American accent. Yeah, spaceship that's cloaked, yeah, and he's a time traveller, yeah, and it's a grimy spaceship that looks, as my daughter said, like the one out of Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay? So you've got grimy, dilapidated thing, you've got someone who's fixated on their job, and you've got, well, you've definitely got a gay or bisexual character. So those similarities are there. You've also got the interesting, mysterious thing going on. So these things, but you've got to remember when Jack was first introduced, it was 2005, and we're nearly 2 decades on. The fans of the series then have moved on. So you can tell the same stories again. And people saying, oh, but it's just it's a gay relationship story. So therefore, it's not just going to be a retelling of Jack, but it's another gay relationship story inside Doctor Who. So it's going to ring bells. It's going to take you back to the last example, and the fact that the guy's got, he's the good-looking American accent, mysterious, brooding, mysterious past kind of a guy. Fair enough, okay? So there are similarities. So you can forgive us for going, yeah, he is a lot like Jack. And the scene where they dance, well, okay, it was great, and it was meant to draw out the villains, but it was also, to give credibility and all of the things that come with it. That's fine. We can see what you're doing. It's not a problem. Yes, the most, and I'm using the rabbit ears here, gay story was not written by Russell, which is nice. And interesting, but I'm not quite sure why. I'm sure there's a reason. But the flirting in the story, the 2 moments where there's this sort of thing going on, they don't just take you out of the narrative, but they also are pauses in the narrative thrust. The story is constantly moving, getting you from A to B and C and so on. But in those moments of the flirting, everything just pauses. And that's good directing. It does work. So, first off, as I'm watching this with my family, my daughter and my wife both look at each other at the beginning, and I'm going, what? And they said, that music, that's Billie Eilish. How is Billie Eilish playing in the past? What's going on? And then later on, even I spot the Lady Gaga music. But the music that was actually playing in person there and then obviously had been chosen by the aliens, who must be time travellers and are Billie Eilish fans. So is that a thing? Or is that just me trying to shoehorn what I heard on the screen into some sort of, well, that's not even used canon. The battle mode earrings that show you how to dance, they're clever. They are pure Doctor Who, and I liked that. I like the fact that don't use them in battle mode actually is a throwaway mark at the beginning, but it becomes proper. It's Chekhov's earrings. And perhaps that would be the best name for the thumbnail for the episode. But they work. And I know the thing. Now, okay. I'm sorry, like I said, my head is literally all over the place. Things like mentioning of the Spinning Wheel pub. Does that mean that Jackie Tyler and Ruby go to the same pub? Is that a big finish waiting to happen? Is that the sort of rubbing your hands together that Mr. Briggs is going to come out with? You see, I'm really sorry. I'm trying to focus. Focus. Okay. Here's a question, and I couldn't zoom in enough. The ring that's left behind, the ring that's quite clearly going to go, hey, bring back Rogue for the next series. That's fine, because everyone's wanting that. What's on the ring? For me, it looked like a penguin. Is it Frobisher? Don't think so. So, my wife just said, has somebody just randomly glued some cogs to some stuff? Because let's face it, it takes more than that to turn something into steampunk. Okay, so this alien race, they are birds. Yeah, I know. We'll deal with that in a minute. And Rogue's spaceship is also a bird. Is this a stolen spaceship? Very probably. Meant to be driven by 2. Looks like a spaceship wearing glasses. It's a nice piece of design, but why it's bothered to look like that is beyond me, apart from the fact that it's done that. Look, my daughter's review of the entire story, the entire episode was, it's like Frozen, where somebody just meets someone and they shouldn't really have a relationship with them, but they go off with them anyway. In fact, no, it's worse. It's worse than Frozen 2, and that is my entire review of the episode. That's what she said. A 15-year-old reviewed Doctor Who by saying, this was worse than Frozen 2. So I'm guessing she's not that big a fan, because I know, as much as everyone else, how not great Frozen 2 is. So I've mentioned the spinning wheel pub. Oh, and you know the bit at the end with the triangle where everyone gets sucked down? Did anyone else get adventure game vibes? Yeah, I am a man of a certain age, that's fine. If you don't know what the adventure game is, it's like Bridge of Lies, only with less effects. And you don't know what Bridge of Lies is, do you? If you're not in the UK. Now, I have to talk about, contractually, as a podcaster and as a Doctor Who fan, I have to talk about the hologrammatic heads that were bobbing about. Because the world will have gone mental, or at least I think we were supposed to, and I don't think we have, at Richard E. Grant, except I couldn't really tell that it was meant to be Richard E. Grant until it moved a little bit. Now the problem is with Richard E. Grant as the Doctor, I've got no issue with animated Doctor Who being canon. Admittedly, it does make less sense because then you've got the Master as an android. You've got a lot of stuff kicking off because that's the direction I believe Doctor Who should have gone in anyway, becoming an animated series. And Richard E. Grant's Schalke Doctor, as we referred to it, was a great Doctor, really well done, and existed in, as far as most people are concerned, a slightly parallel timeline. It does mean, of course, that I'm going to have to buy yet another Lego figure. Thanks, lads. Calm. What I'm saying is, the problem with Richard E. Grant is that he's appeared in the TV series as the Great Intelligence. And he's appeared in the TV series as the Great Intelligence quite recently. So therefore, it could just be a mistaken identity thing of going, yes, here's a character of great intelligence, and we've got the names wrong because the Doctor was fighting him. So you could just about stretch to going, no, that's just a mistake of the computer. That's not the Schalke Doctor. All the information's come from a parallel dimension and some sort of mythic storybook world, which of course is where everything seems to be oozing from. Yeah, let's just move on, because there's not that much to say, really. Oh, on the subject of cross-casting. Okay, so the music in the spaceship is Kylie. Oh no, therefore he must be a gay man. What? No, it's Kylie. Lots of other people like Kylie. Not me, admittedly, and I never have. But what I'm saying is, Kylie is existing in Doctor Who as music, and yet Kylie also existed in an episode of Doctor Who as an actor. The same way, we've got the whole issue. We've got two examples of casting from an external point and affecting what's going on in the episode in the same story. Another little issue that's popped into my head is the fact that this guy, he took his name from a game of D&D, which I love. Admittedly, I'm more of a Chaosium Basic Universe RuneQuest kind of a guy. Would anyone be interested in having a podcast about RuneQuest? Please message me, or feel free to leave comments, or however you want to contact me about that sort of thing. Yeah, actually, a nice RPG podcast. I'm sorry, as I said, I am all over the place and I'm in so much pain. Right, okay, so what we've got is checks notes, goes through Dungeons and Dragons, yes. So he knows about Dungeons and Dragons, he plays Dungeons and Dragons. Admittedly, I don't know who he's playing against or with, but one thing he doesn't understand is he doesn't know what cosplay is. He has to have it explained. Now, I know that's for the purpose of the audience. The cosplay aliens, it's time to talk about the Moira Rose School of Acting. Because if you remember that marvellous TV series that kept us going all the way through COVID, or as my parents call it, Covis, I don't know why. Schitt's Creek, Moira Rose, she's in The Crows Have Eyes, and the performance is almost identical. Because let's face it, a load of aliens descended from birds, and we've seen this with Perry it comes across as the sort of makeup job that you would get somebody to do as part of their final makeup degree or their makeup course in theatrical and TV makeup. So you could go, hey, look, I've made a bird person. And everyone in the room would go, that looks fantastic. And then you'd look at it and you'd go, does it though? Oh, right. Now, there's no continuity with this. Right. What they do is they are really interested in becoming other people. Okay. I don't know why the bird people are like that, but they're all different types of birds. So you've got multi-ethnic bird people. Got it, right? That's fine, except for the rock hopper bloke. Now, Clive Barker, during an interview, did say that a lot of people in... What's the film? It's not Hellraiser. There's a film with a lot of mutants and freaks and that kind of thing, and that's probably not a politically correct term, but there's a lot of creatures, and some of them are close-up creatures, and some of them are meant to be seen at the back of the thing. I think it's Nightbreed, that's it. And he said that some people aren't meant to be seen close-up on camera, and that made sense, because then you spend more time. The rockhopper guy clearly looked like he should be stood at the back and not really appear in a lot of shots. So why, when he took on the form of the priest, did he not actually take on the form of the priest? Was it a time thing? Because that made no sense. There was the lightning, there was the shape changing, the body fell to the floor, and yet all he did was take on the clothes. That made literally no sense to anybody watching it at the same time. And all I can think of is a time constraint thing. It wasn't impressive, it wasn't good, because you really should have taken on the form. I didn't like the bird people. I thought they probably looked great on paper. But you know what? Moira, you're just a better person as a crow. You really are. So, maybe we'll end up with t-shirts that say I'm going to cosplay this planet to death, and that will be someone's entire cosplay, and that will be a great thing. But perhaps not. Let's look at my notes to see what I haven't done. Flirting is just a filler. The dance is straight from Torchwood with Jack and Jack. Got that. What's on the ring? No idea. Battle mode earrings. I like that. But what else have we got? Now, come with me and you'll see a world of pure imagination. Yes, Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka is a Time Lord. This is an ongoing thing. There are two major themes in the world of fiction, where you've got, is Willy Wonka a time lord? He's got a strange, massive, wonderful factories. His use of science is spurious. His explanations make no sense. And Gene Wilder's one in the movie is the most Fourth Doctor-y, weird, all-encompassing, loving of childishness and being a child, and is dark and has a broken past. He's just pure Time Lord. And that's what is at play here. Yes, even the Great Glass Elevator has got more than a touch of a TARDIS about it, and you can go and meet aliens in it if you read the sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which of course so few people actually have. Quick scan through the notes and then I think we're done. No, I've got words here. Crappy bird people. Yep. Why didn't the priest change? The crows have eyes. And that, I believe, is it. That's all I've got to say. Yes, it was a perfectly decent story. Why the doctor has to cry to demonstrate emotions is beyond me. My wife is having none of the fact that the doctor is flirting with people and having emotions. She was expecting better things. But we just didn't get them. And that's fine. You know what? I was at work and I had my Lego Doctor Who people out because I've now got a new job. And somebody came across and went, "Oh, do you like Lego people?" And I said, yeah, I do. I said, but these are all the Doctor. All of these figures here are the Doctor. They're all from Minifigures Me. They're all absolutely gorgeous, including the new Capaldi. And they're all there in their little display case because I thought, I'm going to mark my territory. And all the person said was, "Oh, Doctor Who, yeah. Oh, it's nowhere near as good as it used to be." So that is the general public's opinion. I'll get back to you with more information on that as I get it. But until then, and until next time, when hopefully my leg will be hurting less and I'll be on less pain meds, be seeing you. That was the Tin Dog Podcast. Everything discussed is the intellectual property of others. No infringement is intended.
For early access to reviews, follow the show on YouTube or Twitter @TinDogPodcast. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.